The last time that I was in a prison chapel, I was asking about a CO that worked there. It was a friend of mine, and I hadn't seen him in a while. And one of the inmates chimed in, "That guy walks the walk." Now, I've heard that expression used many times since then to describe someone whose words and actions match, that they're true to their promises, that they lived up to their responsibilities, and they don't deceive anyone with self-conceit. He walks the walk. I hope that someday I'm referred to that. It's really quite a compliment. We have invested ourselves in the way that others walk. We have structured our lives because of something that someone told us. A woman has been given a diagnosis of cancer and dreads both the treatment and the effects it will have on those around her. And her husband promises, "Don't worry, I will be there for you." A groom tells his bride, "Till death do us part." A wife reassures her husband, "I forgive you." My daughter tells my 4-year-old grandson, who is about to have an operation, "Don't worry, when you wake up, Mommy and Daddy will be right here smiling at you." We place our confidence on words like these. They enable us to go ahead into the uncertain and painful future, to pick ourselves up, risk starting all over again. Words like this give us new life. We trust that the person who speaks such promises and reassures us walks the walk. But we also hold God to God's word. We want God to walk the walk. And as if to prove this, God has made His word one of us in our human journey. And not just in external appearances, but fully with us. If God takes flesh, we don't want Him like an android, like Data on Star Trek, who looks human but feels no pain, experiences no emotional highs and lows, grieves no deaths. We want God and fleshed to feel what we feel when we are loved or encouraged or challenged or hated or betrayed. If God is going to become one with us, we want to know that God isn't just putting on a show of smoke and mirrors, but God is truly walking the walk. And so, no sooner has He started His ministry, His journey, His walk with us, Jesus meets the tempter. The devil challenges how real Jesus' immersion among us will be. Will He command the stone to become bread? In other words, will Jesus know physical hunger and pain, as well as the same longings of the heart that we do? Or will He just use His powers and satisfy His needs and wants at a whim? The temptation here is to skip over the physical and emotional pain that we all must have at one time or another. And the devil has more to offer Jesus. Having shown Jesus all the kingdoms of the world, the devil makes an offer that many humans have to one degree or another accepted. Jesus can gain power and influence by worshiping at the altar of power, the altar of compromise, the altar of deals. We are in the deep throes of an election year, and things are heating up. Promises are made to a population needing and looking for leaders of integrity and wisdom, compassion and strength. One hopes that the candidates we are hearing from don't secretly prostrate themselves before the powers that be in order to get to become president, which, as the most powerful position in the world, gives a person power and glory over all the kingdoms. In rejecting this temptation, Jesus chooses to live an ordinary person's life, to undergo the same restraints that are endured by his neighbors, by an oppressor in an occupied land. He will walk the path of the oppressed. Those without name recognition will see in him one who is totally faithful in his choice to be human. And then the devil goes on, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here. It is tempting to think that a proof of God's love for us is a comfortable and pain-free life. Certainly, this notion of a protected life, of expecting to be spared of all pain and disappointment as God's beloved, that certainly would be a temptation throughout all of Jesus' life, especially when he endures his passion. Where is God when we are suffering? If God really loved me, I wouldn't be in this pain. I wouldn't have failed at this project. I wouldn't have been betrayed by those who I trusted. But there doesn't seem to be an escape clause written into Jesus as being one of us, is there? He doesn't get out in the nick of time. And so his followers must also resist the temptation to opt out when the path of discipleship brings suffering. There will be no quick rescue by God when the forces of evil close in on him. There will be no angels to show up to protect him. That's just not what it means to be human. And so that's not what it means for Jesus as he fulfills his word to be one with us. Having listened to the tempting offers made by the devil, Jesus turns away from the tempter and he turns towards us. Like us, he will stumble and get hurt. He'll know hunger. He will see his project collapse. He will risk all, placing his message into the hands, not of the powerful, but into the hands of ordinary people like you and me. Jesus takes a chance on us. He trusts his future on us. The devil has asked him, in effect, will you walk totally with these humans? Will you take their journey to the end? Will you avoid easy outs and a flashing success story? And Jesus' response is, yes, I will. And the rest of the gospel shows us how he does that. How Jesus walks the walk, and how we all need to walk the walk.